Get out of here. All right, let's do this.
What is up?
What up, party people? We'll see if this actually goes. You guys know how Facebook is with me. It says live video is starting. You're now live. All
Did it
right.
go?
We
I
doing
feel like
this.
it's
Hello. Okay, what's happening? Talk. Let me see if it listens to you.
is it
Okay.
working?
Okay, yeah. It was like not there and now it's there. So, what's up, ladies? Happy Friday, Junior. I'm coming at you from my office, totally normal. Liz, tell everybody where you're at.
Oh, I'm at like the cutest bar ever in Reno. I gotta show you guys. So it's and it's so cute. Like
Love it. You got views. You got that
I'm
that
the cutest.
that man across from you.
He was just like, no, I'm the cutest part of this town. I'm like, oh, that's my husband, guys.
and so humble. We love it.
He is. Yep.
All right.
He's
Hey,
feeding me tacos.
tacos. Feed me tacos and tell me I'm pretty. That's the key to
Right?
success. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
perfect.
I love it. All right, well, you guys, Liz is like amazing because here's the thing. She had to post up at this bar because her AC went out and her internet's being all crazy. So like, thank you so much for being here and just making it work. See, I love that. That's who we are as coaches, as people. We have a problem, we find a solution. We're always up here to pivot, right? So just making it happen. So I wanted for Liz to do this live for you guys because for those of you that are super interested in my personal life, I don't have a normal cycle. I'm not a normal woman and I'm here for it, okay? So, when I have women telling me about that terrible time of the month when they have all these cravings and they're seeing all these mood swings and stuff, I'm like, bitch, that's my everyday life. Like, I don't understand how this happens to you once a month. Like, that's me 24/7. So, Liz, obviously, much more better educated on this subject than me. And so I'm like, hey, would you be down with like giving the women some education upon why you have these cravings, why you have these hormonal swings, and all the good stuff that happens to come along with being a woman. So I'm pretty much going to shut up. I'll ask some questions if I have them and everything. But if I see anybody like posting questions, I definitely am going to try to like speak up for you guys. But Liz, take it away. Tell us what you got going on for us tonight.
Alrighty. So I'm actually going to talk about two phases of our cycle. There's technically four, but these two phases kind of mix in with everything else. So the first phase, and our cycle normally lasts 28 days, in case anybody was wondering. The first phase is our follicular phase, and this phase lasts from the first day of our menstruation to the very first day of our ovulation. So when we drop that egg, okay? And then the luteal phase, which is from the last day of our ovulation to like the very next day of our menstruation, okay? So it's just this big, giant clock. They all intertwine with each other. Okay, so there's the only two phases that we really need to focus on.
And the way that I was told to remember that is like follicular first, luteal last.
Yep.
Good.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. I know things.
Yep. People just get really confused because when I talk about the follicular phase, it is literally the last so it's from day 1 of menstruation to the day of ovulation. So people get very confused at like, wait, what? So it goes on for how long? I'm like, yes, like it goes on for quite a while, even after you stop bleeding. So just hang in there with me. So both phases are regulated by hormones. So estrogen and progesterone. If you guys didn't know what that is, I highly suggest Google. It's your best friend. There's quite a few people online that I can send you guys that go into depth about these two. But with both of these hormones, they rise and fall. Okay. And we're going to talk about one of them. With overeating, cravings, and estrogens, we have 3 estrogens. I don't know who all knows that we have all 3. But the one we're going to talk about is estradiol. Estradiol is huge in our cravings and overeating. It affects our brain and it affects our hunger as well and our fullness. So it affects like how much we're able to eat and how satiated we feel. So with estradiol, as it goes up, so it goes up at the end of our follicular phase. So the very first day of towards like the very end, normally like day, I don't know, like a few days after you finish your period to like the day of ovulation is when it peaks and estradiol starts going up. Okay. So in our follicular phase, it starts peaking. So down here is the very first day of our follicular phase, and it keeps going up until the first day of ovulation. And that's where it peaks. Okay. This is the best time to PR. So if you guys track your cycle, literally, I do this all the time. I'll be like, it's not in my training cycle, but guess who's going to PR today? Me. And I do every single time.
And a PR is a personal record for those of you that don't know. So like getting your best lift, I'm going to back squat like 2 times my body weight or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. No, like that literally just happened to me. And I'm like, I think I'm going to try it with my clean. And I did. And I did like this complex at the heaviest I've ever gone before. And I'm like, I'm going to keep doing this. So keep track of your cycle, ladies, because you guys will have a lot of wins that way. So as we move into our luteal phase, estradiol goes down. So now we're preparing to get back into that follicular phase. So we're losing estrogen. Okay. As estradiol goes down, guess what? We're more hungry. We're less satiated. As we get towards like the end of our period, if anybody's ever noticed that like food's not tasting that great, you're like, I could give or take like my normal sweets. And it's normally like the very start of your ovulation is where you're like, meh, I'm good with like 2 bites of this and I'm solid. As you guys get through your luteal phase, you'll be like, I could eat a whole pizza to myself and then probably my husband's ice cream at the end of the day and it'll be fine.
Do it. See, this is why like I'm so glad I don't have to go through all this, because like I would hate to not be hungry. I'm always hungry. Like I'm always excited to eat my food, you guys.
I love food and I love eating. Like everybody around me, it's like, Liz, how can you eat all day long? And I'm like, because I pick like a bird because I want to eat all of things. Like if anybody tells me no, I'm going to be like, give me the snacks.
Yes, all the snacks. Okay, cool.
So with this, estradiol also affects your brain. Okay, so it affects our dopamine. We have estrogen receptors in our brain. And when estradiol is up, guess what? Those receptors are nice and full. And it's giving us that really good dopamine burst. So you're not craving those extra snacks. Like for me, it's M&Ms. Like my husband knows. Like we keep M&Ms in the freezer. He's over here shaking his head. He's like, yeah.
Like plain M&Ms? Like just plain boring M&Ms?
Oh, yeah. That and Oreos.
Okay. Oreos, obviously.
My jam. They're pretty much always in the house in the freezer, and my husband knows. He's like, it's been like 5 days since there's been M&Ms. I should probably restock.
Smart guy.
Right?
I'm not allowed to touch them.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm not allowed to touch them. No. Nope. That's a safety hazard in our house.
Probably grounds for divorce, so we're not going to do that.
Right? So when we have more estrogen in our system, those receptors are full and we're no longer craving that dopamine from something else. Okay. As our estrogen goes down, those receptors aren't full. They're like, girl, I'm hungry. Like, give me something that's going to give me dopamine, which food gives us dopamine. It's like this instant, like, have you guys ever like craved a slice of pizza or like the ice cream? Like, crave ice cream and you're like, man, I just really want this, and how happy you feel after you take a bite of it. Like, so that's what our brains are for. So
let's think about that too. It's like you're happy after you get a bite of it, but then like it wears off, right? Like it really doesn't taste as great after the first couple of bites. And I think that's kind of where I notice some of my clients will go off, where I'm like, plan ahead for those things, right? Like if you know that time of the month or whatever, you're going to be like craving all these things, I want you to like pre-plan them, right? Like log them into MyFitnessPal, know that they're there. And that way you'll like hopefully limit to like just having whatever that serving size is that you wanted. But like so many women, I feel like just end up going ham and like having all the things. What's that all about?
My biggest things that I have my clients do, and I've told a few of the ladies that have started with me lately, they're like, I just can't stop eating like all of the snacky snacks. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's okay to want those and crave those and eat them. But let's do this. Let's grab the amount that you want, really track it and like see the amount that you're actually eating, and sit down. No cell phone, no TV, just you and your snack enjoying it. I guarantee you, one, you're going to not enjoy it after like a few bites. And two, like you're going to be able to enjoy that snack and just like not mindlessly eat it. So there's like a huge like body mind. It's normally like just that motion of like smokers, like just like the motion of going outside and having something. When I was a respiratory therapist, I taught sensation courses for people to help them quit smoking. And it was literally just like, cool, carry a pen in your pocket and walk outside and fuck around with a pen instead of having a cigarette. And their
Oh my
brain dopamine from it.
It makes me think of the bubblegum cigarettes. Did you have those when you were a kid?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Like,
think
here, I'm just gonna buy my clients that are smokers like bubblegum cigarettes. Here, just try that.
it works. Or even like I've had people like clients that wanted to quit smoking because like they're dying during a workout, and I'm like, okay, cool, like let's make fresh fruit popsicles and grab a popsicle, go outside, like do your normal thing outside, but put it in your mouth, like enjoy that popsicle. And then now you're getting that hand to mouth like motion, your brain's getting a ton of dopamine. So yeah, it's super helpful. But less estrogen means that our brain is like, girl, I'm not full. I want more food. So this really isn't like you guys lacking discipline. This is literally your brain playing games with you, being like, yo, what is going on? And it's your hormones. So estradiol and hunger. Okay. So estradiol modifies how your hunger cues work. Okay. And your fullness hormones. So ghrelin, which is the hormone that tells you like, yo, I'm hungry, like feed me. So if you guys have ever like gone a few more hours than normal from eating, like me, it's normally like if I don't eat every 2.5, 3 hours, I turn hangry. This is where hangry comes from. Ghrelin starts, our stomach starts producing ghrelin. So it's producing ghrelin, and it's like, yo, I'm hungry, feed me. Otherwise, I'm not going to stop producing this. That's where like you literally get hunger pains. And then, so that's ghrelin. So estradiol affects that. So when we have more estradiol, we get less ghrelin. So that means we're not as hungry. Okay. Less estradiol, more ghrelin because we're not feeling satiated. And then CCK, not a lot of people talk about this hormone, but it's like the hey, I'm full hormone. It's a hormone that's like, stop eating, we good hormone. Okay. So we don't produce more of it, but it just becomes more potent. Like it's more of a like, yo, you don't need to eat anymore. When the self-control comes in, that's when you like eat till you're in pain. That's the self-control thing. But if you can eat to when you're satiated, that is your CCK being like, hey, yeah, we good. That was a good snack. Thank you. Have a good night. So more estradiol, the CCK is more potent. So it just means that you are acknowledging that hormone better. When there's less, guess what? It's not as potent. So that means your plates. So like I ordered 2 tacos tonight. I ate 1.5 tacos, right? They were so good too. Normally I can like, depending on like my time, I could probably mow down like 4 of them. But where I'm at, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, so yeah. So a few things that I advise people to do when they're dealing with this and really like tracking their cycle. Number one, if you take your temperature in the morning or you feel like you're hotter one morning than normal, that spike in your temperature in the mornings means that your estrogen is dropping. So that means that you are going to start normally like ending your luteal phase and stuff. So you're losing all of your estrogen and you're probably going to start menstruating soon. Or you're starting your luteal phase. Sorry. So that spike normally means you're starting your luteal phase. You're now done with your peak and you're going to start dropping. So with that, I always tell people, especially like this first month or whatever, when you're trying, or a few months where you're trying to pay attention to this and really like plan ahead and really become successful when it comes to having your period and stuff, write down the things that you crave during this time. Okay. So like, let's say this next month, you're like, okay, I'm going to pay attention to this. I just watched Liz and Crystal's live. Like, write down, like, if you're craving, normally it's protein. So even my women with like the Mirena and stuff like that, there's a certain time of the month where they'll feel like I can't get enough protein. And that is normally your cycle time. And that is just your estrogen fluctuating. A lot of sick people, this is normally like your estrogen shifting and you need more protein around this time. So pay attention to what kind of protein. And that's normally like meat, like steak. Like people normally want steak and like ice cream. Things that are very like,
I must be like in this phase 365 days a year because give me all the protein and give me all the ice cream. Like I could live off of that.
I have like a whole spiel on like implants and hormonal birth controls, and it is crazy what it like, just the spikes in hormones and drops in hormones is insane, and
Yeah.
literally lasts all year long. Like you could have 2 normal days out of a whole year. Like it's insane. And you're like, well, what is today? I'm nice and calm.
Yeah, insane. Okay, so for those of you who are watching live right now, or even if you're just watching this later on for the replay, if you are someone who ever notices that you crave meat sometimes, like out of nowhere, like please tell us in the comments so we know that it's not just us. Like I really want to know because I was just having this conversation with my coach last week about how I had this day where like I literally OD'd on chicken and turkey. Like I could not get enough freaking meat. And again, we know I'm weird because I don't have a normal cycle, but I was like, what's up with that? I could have literally eaten pounds of meat in one serving. So I have to know I'm not by myself, you guys. Please tell me.
You're definitely not. I do that. So no, mine's normally like chicken and like a specific seasoning. So I put like ranch seasoning on chicken with taco seasoning, and then I'll eat that with like, this is gonna sound so weird, like M&Ms or like something sweet, and I'll like go between the two. It's just, I just know like it is what it is.
I mean, I'm all for weird food combinations. I think most people that follow my food and stuff on social media see that I have an interesting palate and I just eat a whole lot of whatever. But okay, M&Ms with savory things. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's,
excited for you about
I
this.
don't even know. I'm pretty sure the first time my husband saw me eating, like, and it would be like chicken with M&Ms and then sour Skittles, and I just kind of rotate between them. And he's like, "You are the oddest snacker ever," and I'm like, "It's fine, just leave me be. I know what works for me." But when you guys write down those cravings, we can then plan for next month. Cool. So we know that when you're going into this luteal phase, that you're not going to be as satiated. Your plates are going to want to be bigger. You're going to want to snack all day long. So let's eat slower. Let's break up your breakfast into 2. So have those 2 breakfasts, have 2 lunches, have 2 dinners. Like there's still the same amount of calories. Same amount of calories. We're just now splitting it up so you feel satiated the whole day instead of you being like, cool, I ate breakfast, cool, I ate lunch and dinner, and now I want to eat like a whole Costco sized pizza. There is zero need for you to eat more calories during this time.
Okay, so
The-
I like that. I'm interested in that. But, you know, I think that just brings up a really good point because I know there are people still probably watching this who think that 6 small meals a day is the way to eat every day, right? Or no, 3 meals a day, or no, intermittent fasting and I only eat in this window. Like, so can you kind of explain what you just said there, where it was like, hey, all I'm doing is splitting this up, it's the same amount of calories, like,
So I just make smaller plates. So like my plate for dinner is a small plate, okay? Instead of me having a giant plate for dinner, I'm now just having the same plate but split in 2.
yeah.
I'm not changing my workouts. Like, yes, during like my menstruation time, like we're gonna chill, we're gonna relax, we're not pushing PRs. So no, again, like when you're sick, you don't need less calories just because you're sick. Like you still have to function. Exactly. That's why I brought it up. I was like, because your post was bomb. Because everybody's like, I don't get, like, I'm not hungry. Okay, well, drink a protein drink.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Liquid calories are your friend when you don't want to eat food.
And the thing is that when we go through these phases, this adds stress onto our body, which we did a thing about uh, cortisol and not eating breakfast. Like all you are doing is fasted eating and stressing out your body. So if you are eating less or even eating too much during this time, guess what you're doing? You are producing more stress than what you need. So you might as well stick to what you already have going for you. So like I just eat my normal breakfast, but I split it in half.
Yeah.
Maybe add in a few more vegetables, change up like one of my proteins for a steak instead. So I have a little bit more iron. Because you're obviously like losing iron. So just doing those kinds of things. But really like keeping track of it. Really pay attention to what your body's saying to you, what you're craving. So that like for me, I crave the sweets. So like I make sure that I can program in M&Ms and that, you know, because that's not something that I want every single day most of the time. I
Maybe.
don't want every but
Okay.
I program.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like you might not want them every day because you allow yourself to have them whenever you want them, right? I think that's one big thing I see with a lot of women is like they like are doing so good because they don't have these things, and so then all of a sudden they have these extra cravings because of their hormones being all out of whack, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have this thing that I was so good about not having for the last 3 weeks, and now I'm just gonna eat all of it." Whereas that's kind of one of my things, guys, like exposure therapy. I have an Oreo a day because I can, right? Because I know I don't actually want to have an Oreo every single day. Because guess what? They're effing amazing, but I would get sick of them if I had to eat them every day. So I allow myself the opportunity to, knowing that I'm not going to do it. And so I think that's an important concept too, right there. Is like we're not telling you to not give into those cravings, to not listen to it, but it's all about like going into it with a plan.
Exactly. Have a plan for it. And it's just like my brain goes into like all mindset things and it's like, well, one, why is that a bad food? There's no such thing as a bad food. It's not ideal when you eat too much of it, of course. Like, but what's bad is you not allowing yourself to enjoy things. You not allowing yourself like us. Like I literally have meal preps at home. It's fucking hot in my house. I don't want to be in there. So guess what? We went somewhere else where like I can still enjoy these things and I don't feel guilty about it. I'm still gonna be able to accomplish all of my things. But I pre-plan. I look at their menu. Like I come here a lot, so I know that like literally I don't even have to order. They're just like, here you go. Thank you.
Yeah. 4 tacos or 2 today.
Right. But like I plan for it and I make sure that I can have the things that I can enjoy so that one, if you tell yourself, Crystal, you can't have that delicious ice cream that you always post every once in a while. Like if you tell yourself you can never have that again, what are you going to think about? Every single
Yeah, every day.
You're going to think about it every single day.
You guys, it's just like when you got grounded growing up, right? Like, oh, you're grounded from your Nintendo or you're grounded from going out with your friends. So what do you want to do? You want to rebel, and that's all you want to do, and it's all you think about doing.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, that wears on your brain and that adds more stress being like, I can't do this. So like one of the things that I ask people every single time when they say, well, I'm giving up this, this, and this, like a lot of times it's alcohol or like going out with friends. I'm like, okay, do you want to do that in 5 years? Or do you want to find a way to implement that into your life now to where you can still reach your goals? Which one? Because I will happily support you in either one. You really don't want to drink forever? I got you, boo. If you don't want to eat another Oreo for the rest of your life, I got you. But if you want to be able to incorporate that and still reach your goals, I prefer that one.
And I definitely got you on that.
Exactly. Like I will know how to help you get there. The other one, you're gonna get a whole lot of being like, suck it up, you chose this.
Yep. I mean, that's
with a lot of love.
Yeah, and that's one of the things why, like, you know, I know I'll like talk shit in some of my content about things like 75 hard or this cleanse or detox or whatever. Well, cleanses and detoxes are bullshit first off, but when it comes to something like 75 hard, it's simply because of the fact that it's telling you you have to do A, B, C, and you can't do X, Y, Z. And if you go against those things, you have to start over, right? Like that's not how life works. It's not like, oh, I fucked up at my job. Oh, I was a bad parent one day. You don't start over. And so that's kind of my problem with programs like that. Whereas with Liz and I, that's one of the things we work on is like, okay, you messed up. So how do we course correct next time? How did we learn from that to like do better the next time? There's no all or nothing. There's no you suck, start over. It's cool. Let's pick it back up and like figure out how to troubleshoot next time.
Have you ever looked at like, the success of like how many people actually are able to, and mind you, I listen to Andy's podcast all the time. I really like enjoy his speeches and stuff. Like I feel like he has a great content. I hate 75 hard. I have tried it. I've completed it once before successfully. Anytime after that, I literally cannot.
Yeah.
I'll be good for like 4 days and I'm like, meh. And even people like I have CrossFit athletes that are very like this is their career is doing CrossFit. They've completed it once and never again have they been able to do it. And it's not feasible. So
It's very
that's why
restrictive.
exactly. Like I love reading, but I'm not going to do it every single day, 10 pages a day. I'm not going to get into workouts every single day. Like the workout I had today, no way am I getting in another. No. Mm-mm.
One indoors, one outdoors, no
Exactly.
alcohol. Follow a diet. Okay, like we follow a diet, right? But that's so up for
So
interpretation. Progress
I hate
pictures
the
every
word
day.
diet. I hate the word diet because I'm like a diet is just what you're eating. Like that's all a diet is. Look up definition of a diet. It isn't anything restrictive. It is just your diet is what you fuel yourself with every day. So I could literally follow any diet. I could eat pizza.
Yeah, I'm on the diet.
Yeah, I'm a seafood diet. I see it, I eat it, and it's fine.
There you go.
All my goals. I talked to somebody today after like our call this morning, and they're like, Liz, and I get these all the time because I like post my transformation. They're like, how did you do that? And I'm like, I eat tacos and pizza, and I work out like 4 to 5 days a week, sometimes 3 days. It just depends on what they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah. They're like, wait, you don't like run and do all these crazy things? Well, that takes too much brain space. I'm good.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. And that's the thing is like you have to change your life in order to change your life, but that doesn't mean you all of a sudden should have no life and that your life just revolves around this thing. So whatever.
Exactly. Okay.
I know we kind of went off on a tangent.
I know. That's so easy to do. But okay, back on like how to manage like the effect of everything that's going on with your hormones is one, I recommend eating slowly. Put your fork down between every bite and like chew your food. Don't just inhale food. Set down your phone, sit down, like sit at our table or whatever. Don't like mindlessly eat. Have your plate, eat slowly, put your fork down between every bite. Like I still do that even like when my hormones aren't going crazy. I still every single time I eat, I will pick up my food, even if it's a taco, take a bite, put it back down. And I chew it. And I don't pick it up until I want another bite. One, you're gonna feel satiated faster. So you're not I don't remember the last time I was in pain from being hungry. And I also don't remember the last time I was very, very hungry either. Because I eat when I'm hungry and I don't ever let myself go past hangry anymore. Keep track of what you eat in your luteal phase and be prepared. So have those things. Pre-log it into your MyFitnessPal. Have a little note in your notes section of like, hey, like this the last time, this is what I really wanted. So then when it comes to your check-in with your client or with your coach, we can help you kind of be like, okay, cool, like let's adjust these few things because it's going to take some practice. I encourage you guys to do it first on your MyFitnessPal and then go to me and be like, hey, this is what I have. What do you think? And I'm going to be like, girl, you're a rock star. Like, you know, so it's normally that, or I have some adjustments for you. It's normally just like, hey, like, normally it's not so big meals.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's add in a few more snacks instead. Like for me, I take away a little bit of rice and I add in those M&Ms instead. And that's a snack instead of like a whole meal. And then be prepared, plan them out, have smaller meals, eat more often. And then training wise, so as you are nearing that end of your menstruation cycle, plan to PR. So you're gonna have all of this deload from your menstruation, and then you're gonna have this big spike in uh estrogen. Guess what? PR Central, get all the wins, lift all the weights that week, and then we can start tapering it back down, really getting into like just your normal training cycle, not trying to push weights. I tell people that's like um just my day to day, like I'm working at my 80%. It's great. And then yeah, and then we rest again. So we naturally deload. And I'm sure every single one of you have felt that where 1 week, like for like 4 days, you're like not feeling the gym. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going through a like imposed, not wanted, awesome deload this week, but it's good for me. It's good for me, right? Okay. Okay. No, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I said your situation's different, but
Yes.
deload is so great. Even your body needs it.
Yeah. I mean, I was on a deload from my coach last week just because of stress, you guys. So here's the thing. Like when you're going through a ton of stress, working out is a stressor on your body. Being in a calorie deficit is a stressor on your body. And I'm not even a calorie deficit, like, because I'm actually training for, an endurance run, which means I need to have enough calories to support that. So losing weight is the last thing on my mind. But then I got sick. And so now we're just continuing that deload where I'm just, again, not really doing anything other than little light yoga in my room, a little mobility, some walking every morning, just like normal. But, my body needs it. And so I was just posting this on my stories how I haven't trained in over a week and I'm still eating 2,200 calories. And because I haven't trained, you guys, I'm actually burning less calories than normal, right? Like significantly less calories, but I have lost a significant amount of weight in a week simply because my body is like less inflamed. It's not holding on to all of the stress that it was. And yes, being sick right now is a stressor on my body, but still it's a different kind of stress. So my body's just responding differently. So, but anyways,
stress, but you're also not degrade like tearing your muscles and stuff from training. Right. So it's also not trying to repair things and stress you. So it's like, oh, I focus on like her immune system.
Yes, let's build her immunity so she doesn't have to be sick. Okay, so Robin had asked here question postmenopausal hormones, and so I asked her like to elaborate on that, like what specifically. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from her yet. Robin, girl, I'm sorry, but anything that you can recommend in relation to postmenopausal hormones?
Postmenopausal hormones. So number one, you guys are all over the place with your hormones. So really like keep track of how you're feeling. One of my friends keeps like a little diary and just kind of writes like how she's feeling, like energy wise and stuff like that. Really don't try and push any of your workouts. And also remember that if you are less active postmenopausal than you were when you were in your 20s, you're gonna need less calories, but also need more protein to help those bones and your muscles, because just naturally as we age, they're not able to repair themselves as well. So I normally have them on super high protein and they're probably like, oh, this is too much, but really it's going to only benefit you. So slightly less calories, more protein, and your workouts, just like with like my ladies who are pregnant, you should leave every single workout feeling like you could do it over again. If you push yourself too much, you're going to stress your body out too much and your hormones are going to go crazy. So there's no need to PR. There's no need to find your 1 rep max. Stay within like a 3 rep max at that. Just move with good form and challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. But be able to do more.
Yeah. So her follow-up to that, when it comes to like hormones and stuff, do you still have the cravings, the highs and the lows and whatnot, like a woman who is not postmenopausal?
So wait, what was that?
She's wanting to know, like, do you still have the cravings, the highs and the lows? Like, even though you're not having a cycle where the
Oh,
hormones are shifting because of that?
oh yeah. So you will have little bursts of it, just like any like guys with like low testosterone. Like some days they'll have really high testosterone and some days they won't. So it's the same thing with my menopausal ladies. Some days you'll have really high hormones and some days you won't, and that's where the hot flashes come in. And you're like, what? What is this? Which again, so when your temperature rises, so when you have those hot flashes, that means that your estrogen is dropping super fast. So that's why you guys have the hot flashes, in case you guys were wondering. So normally when those hot flashes are coming in, you're like, and you like are recovering from the hot flash, you kind of want something sweet. So yes,
I'm just
but
gonna put ice packs in my bra when that day of my life comes.
I feel that way now, so I don't want to know. I don't. It's fine. I live in Reno, and I'm over the heat here.
Yeah, it's a little toasty here. We've dropped down to 82 so far tonight, but
It's been like 101.
yeah, we're only cruising around like 90 or so here. So
Yeah, it's been like 101, and I'm like, and it's dry heat. I'm used to like Washington, where like I have like rain and
yeah.
mountains
Yeah.
and stuff. Here I'm like a desert. I feel like a fish out of water. Like,
All right, cool. Well, I love this. I've got like someone on here, Miss Laura, saying when she's sick, she craves cottage cheese. Robin telling me she loves the protein. Like, yeah, let's get
see,
it. All
you're
the
not allowed.
protein ladies.
It is fine.
I love it. Okay, cool. Any closing thoughts, Coach?
No, that is all I got. Really, like listen to your body, learn what your body's trying to say, and then like just drop a comment if you guys want me to answer anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Liz will answer. I'm not good at answering. I answered the basic questions like, yes, you can count your sparkling water towards your water intake. Just don't make it the bulk of your water intake. I can answer things like that.
sparkling water is good, especially when you like muddle fruit in it.
I'll turn it into a
Yes.
White Claw.
What did he say?
He said turn it into a White Claw.
Oh, I was gonna say, is he saying to put like vodka in it? Because like I could see that too.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Laura, Susan. Who else is on here? Yeah, I'm a fun ladies. Well, I appreciate everybody who popped in. Like I said, if you have more questions about this, talk to Liz. She's your girl. If you have questions that my moron self can answer, talk to me. I'll answer them. But if you guys need anything, hit us up. And if you have more topics you want us to be presenting on in here, let us know. So far, what I've got scheduled for next week is talking about front loading your day. And so you'll find out what that means. But front loading your day for fat loss success is really the goal there. So have an amazing rest of your week, everybody. And we'll be telling you about some exciting stuff coming up soon. Talk to you later.
Bye.